Morning. My name is Chuck Tillis, chairing today for this committee. My colleagues are Ms. Stapleton and Mr. Prater. Would you give your name and DOC number, please?
My name is Roger Alli. My DOC number is 578-158.
And the staff, again, please.
Sammy Burns.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Rogers. You're a first-class offender. The offense is aggravated incest molestation of a juvenile. Your sentencing was December 10th, 2010. The sentence was 15 years with the Department of Corrections, each count concurrently. Your parole date is 6/14/23. Your good time date is not eligible. Your full term is 9/13/25. Do you have a questionnaire in front of you?
No, sir.
I'm sorry. Forget that. Okay, I'll be handling your case today. And do you have a statement that you'd like to make before we start?
Yes, sir. In 2007, I was addicted to hydrocodone, alcohol, and I smoked the occasional joint. It's not an excuse, it's just a fact. I was, even though my inhibitions were down, I still had control of my faculties. I knew right from wrong. What I did was repugnant and reprehensible. It 5 pictures destroyed everything. It destroyed my family, it destroyed my marriage, it destroyed my relationships, and it destroyed any trust that I had built. It's taken a long time for me to learn to forgive myself, and I can only hope and pray that somehow, some way, she can learn to forgive me as well.
Thank you. We have an opposition this morning. Ms. Nomi DeVille, is she with us?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can speak, please.
Do I speak to you, the court, or do I speak to Roger?
All of us are listening.
Okay. Although I appreciate, Roger not admitting, but apologizing, I guess, or maybe some type of remorse for what he did to me. I'm sorry.
Take your time.
I'm sorry. I didn't think that. I apologize. I didn't think that it was gonna affect me so many years later. My relationship with my entire family is ruined still. Even though Roger was convicted and the evidence was presented, somehow he was able to convince my entire family that I was a master manipulator at 15, 16 years old. When really all I needed was someone to protect me, which my mother and Roger failed to do. Roger gained my trust, and I eventually looked at him as my father because my own father was fighting his own demons. And as a child, I was desperate for a father and a family. And all I got in return was sexual abuse. And I felt he took my privacy away from me. He took my entire family away from me. I feel severely affected to this day by what he has done to me. He speaks about how he lost everything. It was nothing compared to what you made me lose as a child. And although me attending today and speaking how I feel on this matter, he's still getting out next year no matter what. And I feel like it's just not justified. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Mr. Rogers, I'm handling your case. I read your case. I went through it very thoroughly. I see that you've taken a lot of classes to better yourself. How long have you been incarcerated?
14 years.
14 years. As you see, it wasn't a good thing, but I'm not here to talk to you about that. I have no questions, and I'm going to let my colleagues, if they have questions that they want to ask. Ms. Stapleton.
Yes, sir, I do. First of all, I want to commend Naomi for your bravery to appear today before the board. That's very difficult for any victim to do. And we could see your pain and we could hear your anguish over the childhood you lost. So you have my deepest, I don't know, I would say sympathy, but that's just not even the right word. Okay, so let me get to Roger. Roger, at the time this happened, am I correct? You were 40 years old and she was 15. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. About
And approximately. And she did see you as a father figure. Is that correct?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So that's a very trusted individual. And you know, most little girls, if a daddy puts their arms around them, it's because he just adores them. And from what I could read, she had to trade you quid pro quo. If she did something, even in the way of the pictures, that's how she would get something from you. Is that the way it worked? Like if she wanted to go somewhere or get some money or anything like that, she had to pose for pictures or she had to do something.
No, ma'am, it wasn't like that. I really don't even know what was going through my mind or what. I'm sorry.
Well, we know the pictures got taken.
Yes, ma'am.
As a child, she was finally able to get somebody to believe her. And thank goodness for that, because from what I could read, she tried it another time and nobody did believe her. But she finally did. And she was able to give police the information as to where to be able to find them on the internet. So that proved that what she was saying was true. Am I correct when I say that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And so that is how they came up with the fact that you got the charges. Your original charge was aggravated incest, sexual battery, and pornography of a juvenile. Is that correct?
I don't
Original
know.
charge. You don't know. I got you. But then it was pled down to aggravated incest and molestation of a juvenile, of which you got 15 years for each one of those crimes, but they run concurrent. So actually you're serving just 15 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, that's all that I have. I think that right now I read that there is extreme opposition from the district attorney and the sheriff for any early release, but even an early release, you're going to get out next year anyway. But that is what they had to say about the situation. All right, I'll turn it over to my colleague, board member, Mr. Prater, if he has anything he'd like to say.
No questions.
Okay,
Okay, is the board prepared to vote?
I am.
Since I handle your case, Mr. Rogers, I'm going to vote first. I mean, I think I read your case several times, and I congratulate you on the classes and the stuff that you're taking, which I think is good. I see that you have remorse, and that's good. And you're trying to reform yourself. My vote today is to deny. Ms. Stapleton?
My vote today is to deny also. I did see the classes and maybe it just didn't show up, but I didn't see that you took any sex offender class. Am I correct or wrong about that? Did you take anything, a sex offender class?
I've never been in a place that offered it.
Ah, that does happen. Okay, I forgot to ask that question. So yes, my vote today is to deny.
Mr. Prater?
My vote's to deny also, and with the recommendation, if at all possible, that DLC find a place that he can go to for a long-term sexual abuse classes before his release. His release is going to be next year anyway, so let's try to get that done if at all possible for the Department of Corrections. Thank you. Deny.
Thank you. Mr. Rogers, your case has been denied. Your parole has been denied, and I wish you luck. This concludes this case. We're signing off. Thank you. At 9:51.